Today I am going to be giving you guys some tips and tricks on how to make your cafe look even better. These are just some things that have really helped me when I have been building my floors and can help make your cafe look more put together, and just little things you can add to make your cafe look even better. The very first thing, of course, you're going to need is money and diamonds. And if you don't know how to get those, I actually have 2 videos on how to get diamonds and money. So if you do need some help, I would totally recommend watching those videos, and they will both be linked down below in a playlist. The second thing that I do recommend is getting an idea of a theme or a color palette that you want to use in your cafe. Whether or not that's your whole cafe or just a floor, themes and color palettes really tie your cafe together and make it look a little less chaotic. So you can either do like a Kurumi theme or some kind of Sanrio character theme, or if you don't really want to do that, then I would at least suggest using a color palette, like maybe blue and green or pink and purple, and you can use other things to tie in that color. Or you can just go with a colorful theme if you really wanted to and try to tie it all together. But as long as you have a theme in mind or a color palette in mind, I feel like that really helps when building a floor, because you want to kind of have like a game plan and make it look like it all fits together. The third thing that I recommend is to make a plan or a layout. So when you are building, you have an idea of what you want to do and it won't overwhelm you as much, because sometimes I get overwhelmed with everything that I have. So you want a game plan anyways. When you are making a layout, I would keep in mind of where all your tables are gonna go. So if you are just focusing on tables in your cafe, then you want to do a table layout. If you are doing a kitchen, you want to get an idea of how you want to do your kitchen, whether or not that's all in one floor or scattered on all of your floors, or half of your cafe, or a whole room together. Whatever it is, you want to get a good idea of how you want your kitchen to be, because that's going to be the most important thing in your cafe, of course. If you are going to do like a table layout and a kitchen layout, then you would want to decorate around that and add decorations in between and fill up the spaces. You also want to think about maybe like a dedicated area. So if you aren't going to do a bunch of tables, then maybe think about maybe a room that you want to put a bunch of decorations in, or a photo booth area. Whatever it is, you want to get an idea of where you want to be, whether or not you're drawing it out on a piece of paper or drawing it on an iPad or just keeping it in mind. But I would recommend paper so you don't forget where things are going to go. And then of course you want to keep in mind the stage in the playground. So on the 2nd and the 3rd floor there is a stage in the playground, and you want to get an idea of how you're going to work around that. You can't put things on the stage or close to the stage, so you do want to keep that in mind when you are doing your layout. The 4th thing is the popularity furniture. I feel like a lot of people feel like they have to use the popularity furniture, when in reality you really don't have to. You can incorporate it in your decorations. You do want to keep in mind that it's not mandatory to use the popularity furniture, and when you do need popularity, you can easily just put down some of the popularity furniture outside or in empty spaces, buy what you need, and then get rid of it later. So you can use other things and you don't have to put down popularity furniture, and I feel like a lot of people forget that. So just keep that in mind. It's your cafe, so you get to decide what you put in it. Whether or not you don't have a bunch of popularity, it's still fine because you have all those floors. The 5th thing is walls and flooring. I use tons of floors and walls because I feel like it makes your cafe look so much better. Now, when people do floors, they only think about the checkered flooring, but there's so many cool ways of doing floors. I've toured so many cafes that have used the floorings in such cool ways. So when you are doing floorings, do think about other things that you can use. Maybe stripes, maybe like a gingham pattern. Try to think outside of the box, because I have seen a lot of the same kinds of floorings. When you can make super cool floorings, it is all up to you. And with walls, you also can do so many cool things with walls, because you have the curved walls, you can make rooms with the walls. Try to think outside of the box when you are trying to do your cafe. And walls and floors, I feel like, make your cafe look so cool. And the very last thing that I have to recommend you is to fill up your spaces. There is a lot of space in your cafe. You can put down a bunch of things, and you do want to try and fill up as much as you can. I feel like it makes your cafe look even better. It is really hard with the limited amount of stuff that you do have, so I understand that sometimes it's hard to fill up things and you don't want to fill it up too much because you don't want to make it feel like it's super cramped, but you do want to fill it up enough that it looks decorated and put together and finished. You do want to try and fill up some of those areas. And at the end of the day, as long as you're happy with your cafe, that's all that matters. Those are just some tips that I have for you guys. I really hope this helps you decorate your cafe, and if you have any other tips for anyone else, leave it down in the comments. And of course, you can always look at other people's cafes for inspiration. I have a few cafe tours up on my channel, so if you want to take some inspiration from my cafes, I would totally be okay with that. In my older cafes, I was still learning how to decorate, so those ones aren't the best, but I still think some of the layouts that I had for those cafes are still so cool. And of course, you can always look at other people's cafes, and it's so helpful to get ideas from other people. There's tons and tons of inspiration out there, so you can always use that to your advantage as well. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye!